नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्येष्टारिणे. So we are reading from this is for 8th canto 24th chapter 1st verse, and this is Maharaj Parikshit is asking, and he's asking about the incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead, especially Matsya-avatara. So he is saying, Bhagavan 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗹 𝗙𝗨ami. Oh my Lord, actually he is referring him as Bhagavan. The point is, there are many, even great personalities are called as Supreme, the Lord. Just like in first canto, if you see Narad Muni is addressed as Bhagavan. I think Vyasadeva addresses him as Bhagavan when he visits his ashram and Badrikashram, Badrinath, Samyapras. So, Prabhupada writes here that even most powerful personalities are addressed as Bhagavan. Why? Because Bhagavan means who is controller. Because they can control their minds. Because mind has a God-like power. And anybody who can control mind, he is God-like. That is why they are called Bhagavan. Also because they are representatives of Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are called as Bhagavan. Just like if you take admission in IIT, you are called IITian. Simply because you are connected to IIT. So simply because you are connected to Supreme Lord, Bhagavan, they are called as Bhagavan. That's all. So, and in fact, in our tradition, even guests were addressed as Bhagavan. Bhagavan, they used to say Bhagavan, you know. I'm to say, especially revered guests. Saints used to come in home in a Aryan civilization, and they used to address them as Bhagavan. Because even saints who are representatives of God, they are called as Bhagavan. So we should not confuse. Okay, people call Shivji as Bhagavan. Well, even saints are also called Bhagavan. Brahma is called Bhagavan. So why your Hindu scriptures they have so many gods? No, it is simply an address to remind you that these are people of God. And that's why we call them as Bhagavan. So he is saying, Bhagavan 𝗙cie𝗶𝗹𝗹 𝗙𝗨ami. I want to hear. Shroto means want to hear. And Srila Prabhupada, I think Srila Prabhupada writes in the first canto, when Parikshit Maharaj asked this 7 questions to Sukadeva Goswami. So not Parikshit Maharaj, I think who asked 7 questions? Suta Goswami? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, right. Yeah, Shaunaka Rishi. They asked 7 questions to Suta Goswami, and there Prabhupada writes, this is the first qualification to advance in spiritual life, Shrotam, to hear. In fact, if you read Vedanta Sutra, that first sutra, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, Baldev Debusha, Athato Brahma Jigyasa means now it's a time to inquire about absolute truth. So the question is, when is the time to inquire about absolute truth? What this text is trying to say. So the commentator Baldev Vibhushan writes, now it's a time to inquire about absolute truth when you have attained human life, but on the top of that, when you have developed the desire to actually to ask questions from saintly people. At that time, it's a right time to inquire about absolute truth. As simple as that. Baldev Vibhushan gives a very beautiful commentary. Shankara, he gives a commentary. Now it's a time to inquire about absolute truth. Shankara writes, okay, when is the time to inquire about absolute truth? When you have read entire Vedas, you have got knowledge, and you have developed sense control, and you have developed good qualities. At that time you can inquire about absolute truth. But Baldev and Madhva and all these our acharyas, they write this is absolute crap, because without being connected with God you cannot develop good qualities, and you cannot develop sense control. So that's why they comment, okay, Shrotum. Vedanta Sutra says, when Shrotum means desire to hear, not hear, desire to hear. So when you have got human life, I mean to say, mere human life is not a qualification to inquire about absolute truth, because there are many human who are not inquiring about absolute truth. That's not the qualification. Qualification is Niyadhyam Mahadhyam Sulabham Sudurlabham. When you have got this human life, which is very rare, and on the top of that, now you want to ask something to saintly people. You by your fortune you meet saintly people, and now you want to ask something. Okay, when you want to ask something, don't ask stupid questions. Now is the time. You are with saints, ask them good questions. What is a good question? Who is God? Inquire about absolute truth. That's the point there. So Shrotam. So in other words, as soon as you get association of devotees, ask them about God. Don't waste time by asking stupid nonsense questions. I mean to say, most of the general public, what they say, in India what happens, when they meet any saint, they say, oh my, like Sadhu ji, please kripa kar dijiye, nahi Swami ji kripa kar dijiye, that's all. There is not a question. Athata Brahma Jigyasa, kripa kar dijiye, and all these things. This is culture, and it's okay, but that's not what is instructed by scriptures, what we should be doing in association of devotees. Bhagavan Shrotum Ichchami. Ichchami means, of course, I desire. Shrotum means I want to hear. Ichchami means I really want to ask some questions. I have a good questions. I have some questions which are bothering me. So we should have good questions. What is the purpose of life? Who is God? How should I advance? If you're already practicing devotion for some time, ask them good questions. Okay, who is Krishna? What are his qualities? All these are good questions. That's why he says, Bhagavat Shrotum Ichchami. Now what he wants to hear, what is the best question? Parikshit Maharaj asks a very good question. Harer adbhuta karmana. That's the question. Hari means Krishna. Adbhut karmana means I want to hear about wonderful activities of the Supreme Lord. That's the idea. Adbhuta karmana. This word comes many times in Bhagavatam. Adbhuta karmana. It comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami says, your heart will be wonderstruck when you read the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. The word used there is not adbhut, the word there is used is chamatkar. What's that verse? Chaitanya Siddhant Koriya Vichar Tabe Pabe Chitte Chamatkar. So chamatkar, when you meditate on the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya, your heart will have chamatkar. Chamatkar here chamatkar doesn't mean magic. Here chamatkar means in the sense of adbhut. Your heart will be full of wonder. Wow, this is good philosophy. Because anybody who reads philosophy of Lord Chaitanya, he can simply understand that philosophy is a synthesis of all philosophies. And even more than that. So the evidence is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was a magistrate, and he was, before becoming Krishna consciousness devotee, a Krishna conscious devotee, before becoming a Krishna conscious devotee, he was like a Mayavadi, and he was like a big, he was very interested in Western philosophy, and very impressed by Mayavad. He used to read so many philosophies, and Yeah, he was quite impressed. And he used to discuss these Western philosophies in a circle. He formed a circle. I mean to say, he was in an elite circle. He was a judge. So he had an elite circle. He had Britishers with him. They were discussing Western philosophy, Indian philosophical systems, and he was pretty convinced by Mayavad. And at that time, he used to, he used to hate Hare Krishna, because even when Bhaktivinoda Thakur was there, Hare Krishna was there all around him, and all these sahajyas, Ola, Bala, it was like a mess. So he used to think they are all sentimental, bogus people, and they were. But then something happened. He started doing research. He started doing research on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he found original texts of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavat, Shat Sandarbhas. He read those books, and he was completely dumbfounded. He was astounded and adbhuta that this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophies is the pinnacle of all philosophies. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy has tattva, has rasa, it has a framework through which we can understand prema. This nobody has done. He was completely impressed, and he left everything, and he announced Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the greatest philosopher of this century. And then he wrote books. He wanted to show this. He wrote books, Tattva Amnaya Sutra, Tattva Sutra, Tattva Vivek. These are 3 books which you can refer to. Amnaya Sutra, Tattva Sutra, Tattva Vivek. It's published in English also. And in that he showed how Mahaprabhu is the greatest philosopher by analyzing all philosophies. So that is adbhuta, isn't it? This is called adbhuta. So that's why Parikshit is saying, I want to hear adbhuta karmana. I want to hear wonderful activities of Supreme Lord. Now wonderful means, here in this context, wonderful means those activities of Supreme Lord which are so beneficial to all living beings. This is wonderful, isn't it? We all are doing so many things, but it's not beneficial to anyone. It's just beneficial to ourselves. Even as a devotee, probably you are doing something which is beneficial to yourself. Okay, fine. But that's not wonderful. Wonderful is when somebody does something beneficial for others. He sacrifices his time, his energy, his life. Then people really appreciate, yeah, this is good man, isn't it? His actions are good. That's the meaning of adbhuta. Adbhuta. Also adbhuta means I want to know the activities of Supreme Lord which are beyond comprehension. Why? Because Supreme Lord is doing so many activities which are actually contradictory. Sometimes he does some things. He favors demigods and he kills demons. Now, why does that? This is simply wonderful. This is, although it is, you can't understand this. You need some kind of education to understand this. We have to read Gita, isn't it? Samam sarva bhuteshu na madeshu asti na priya. Krishna says, no, I don't favor demigods because they are dear to me, and I don't kill demons because I hate them, because I am equal to everyone. Samam sarva bhuteshu na madeshu asti na priya. I favor them because they favor dharma. Because they are on right side, I am with them. Right means correct side. Because they are on correct side, on the path of dharma, I favor them. And demons are on the path of adharma, I kill them. That's why Ram said, even if Ravan surrenders to me now, after all the ocean, they formed a bridge and they went to, in ocean, and they went to Lanka. And at that time Ram said to Lakshman, even if Ravan surrenders to me even now, I will forgive him if he accepts his mistake. Because Ram is not concerned to kill Ravan as a person. He is concerned because Ravan is upholding a dharma, a religion. That's a problem. And this is adbhuta. He is equal to everyone. And yet he appears to be partial. So this is interesting, adbhuta. He is celibate, and yet he is doing Rasila with gopis. This is adbhuta, isn't it? This pleases the devotees, and this is wonderful. How he is doing this? How this is possible? You are a Nitya Brahmachari and you are dancing with so many gopis. So this is also meaning of adbhuta, achinte, which cannot be understood by common logic. To a certain extent you can talk, but another thing about activities of Supreme Lord is, in each and every action of Supreme Lord, there is love for his devotees. Even if he kills someone, just like we sing that Tabakara Kamla Vare Nakham Adbhuta Shringam. So we all sing that Tabakara Kamla Vare Nakham Adbhuta Shringam. Adbhut. So Prahlad Maharaj, so they are singing, oh my dear Lord, your nails are adbhut. Adbhuta Shringam. Why they are wonderful? Because for devotees your nails are shringar, ornaments. But for demons, these same nails are weapons to tear the chest of Hiranyakashipu. Now that's quite wonderful, isn't it? So that's what Parikshit Maharaj wants to know. Hare Adbhuta Karmana. Vaman Dev, he became Trivikrama and he measured entire 3 planetary systems, but just by one step. He is doing such activities which are incomprehensible by human mind. Govardhan, he wants to know, specially he wants to know Avtar Katham Adhyam. He wants to know various incarnations of Supreme Lord. Avtar means one who descends, Avatar. So he wants to know how he descends from spiritual world to material world. That's one thing. And Adhyam, and his many incarnations, starting with Matsya. Matsya means fish. Fish incarnation. He wants to begin with fish incarnation, because first incarnation is fish, isn't it? Maya Matsya Vidambanam, which is simply an imitation of fish. So he points out, Parikshit knows, He's saying when Krishna descends in the form of Matsya-avatara as a fish, I want to know that. But I also know Maya Matsya. Here Maya Matsya means he became fish, but actually he is not fish. He's like simply an imitation of fish. So he want to hear about that incarnation. He said, most powerful Sukadeva Goswami, I wish to hear from you about the pastimes of that fish incarnation. So that's what Parikshit asked for. So we have 10 incarnations, isn't it? Right, starting from fish, Matsya, up to Kalki. It just gets over. Now, why Matsya-avatara is the first incarnation? There's a reason for that, and there's a spiritual, philosophical reason there. The first incarnation is Matsya, who actually helped to save the Vedic knowledge, because there was a pralay, and then in pralay everything got destroyed. And as a Matsya-avatara, he asked Manu to make a boat, and in that boat Manu climbed his wife and all the Saptarishis and all the animals and all those things, they were there. So in the form of Matsya he came and he imparted knowledge to Saptarishis, and he said, when this pralay will get over, you are the people who are again going to establish knowledge in this world. I entrust you this job, this job you are going to do. So he gave the knowledge back of Vedas to Saptarishis, which were lost at the time of pralay. And that's the point. Matsya-avatara is first avatar, that is, in spiritual life, you need knowledge first. First step is knowledge. You have forgotten everything, you have lost the knowledge, and we don't know Bhagavad Gita, we don't know Vedas, we don't have any kind of idea. Prabodhanand Saraswati says that we are so unfortunate that we don't know, in this Kali Yuga, we don't know even the dha of dharma. Even the word dharma, we don't understand what is that. People have so many misconceptions about dharma. Adhyatma, even this word is so confusing. People have so many ideas about spiritual life. So what to say of knowing the real path of spirituality? So Matsya did that. That is why the first step is knowledge. Without knowledge, we will not be able to do anything. It's like useless. This spiritual endeavor without knowledge is useless. And that knowledge we have to gain from Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. Parikshit is inquiring, give me knowledge. He's saying to Sukdev, give me knowledge. This is the transaction between devotees. This is what we take association for transmission of knowledge. That's all, full stop. We are not taking association of devotees just to have parties and just to linger around. That's not the point. Taking association of devotees is a serious business. Prabhupada writes there. It's a serious business. Of course, it's not that we are always serious. We are happy in association of devotees, but what we are supposed to do, that we should not forget. We have to ask questions and answers. Pari prashnena sevaya. That's what Krishna says. Machit madata prana bodhyanta parasparam. Bodhyanta means, bodh means realization. So actually information and transformation. That is a transaction. Information and then realization. You ask something and the saints will give you realization. And when they give you realization, then you transform. This is the purpose of association. Information and transformation. So, as a preacher, as a saint, we are supposed to give you realization and not just some statements from scriptures. And that's what actually Parikshit would have known, about Matsya. He's a great devotee. He's a devotee from the womb. He knows everything, and that's why he's making a point. Maya Matsya Vidambanam. He's saying, I know Matsya is like, that's an imitation of fish. I know God. He knows God right from the womb. That's why his name is Parikshit. But he wants to hear. Why he wants to hear? Because he knows this man Sukdev Goswami, he is a direct disciple of Vyasadeva. He's a great saint, and he will have many realizations about Matsya. Although they have the information, both of them, but Sukdev will have some good realizations, and that he wants to know. And that is what we gain in association of devotees. Otherwise, we can all read books, from internet and Loi Bazaar, and so why do devotees spend time and time and energy to take association of devotees? Why is that? I mean to say, why do you spend time on this forum, Bhakti Sangha, and I am speaking and you are hearing? You can read everything. Because when we read, we get some realizations, we are practicing the process, and we share with each other, and we benefit. That's the idea. So you can call this as realization, or you can call this as experience. Why we go to university and hear to professors? You can do online courses. And I mean to say, all universities should collapse. Nobody goes to university. Because those professors, they will have some experience. Many years of experience of that subject. And they can give you that. So if you want to learn music, you go to a music teacher. And then you ask, okay, I want to learn music. So you can as well go online and learn music, but no, that music teacher will give you not just the notes of the song, but the sweetness in the song. He will tell you how to sing in such a manner that it becomes more sweet. That's what a music teacher can give you. That's what a person can give you. And that's the point. Sukdev Goswami, he can give him Pibatam Bhagavatam Rasam Alayam. This story of Matsya is mentioned in so many Puranas. It is mentioned, by the way. Harivansh Puran. I mean to say, all Puranas, they mention these 10 incarnations. There's a whole Matsya Puran. You can read Matsya Puran, In Bhagavatam, about Matsya, it will be like this much. Matsya Puran is whole dedicated to Matsya Puran. So, Parikshit would, instead of asking Sukdev Goswami, he would have said, you know what, I want some break, I will just go and read Matsya Puran and come back. It's not like that. Or Sukdev Goswami would have said, okay, read Matsya Puran, it's already there, You can just, don't waste my time. in Matsya Puran, my father Vyasadeva has compiled Matsya Puran, you can just go and have a look. He didn't say either like that. He spoke something which is there in Matsya Puran, but also is not there. You cannot see that. You can relish that. That is why Bhagavatam is giving rasa. He is trying to, 𝗙cie Goswami, what he is doing in Bhagavatam, there is nothing new there. There is no new information. And yet there is new information in the sense, he is trying to extract the rasa part from all the pastimes and trying to collect in one book. That is Bhagavatam. So, Vamandev, 𝗙cie, Kurma, Vara, he is not focusing on the characters and the storyline. That's what not he is doing. That's why Bhagavatam is not at all in chronological order. There is no timeline. That's not his focus. His focus is not incidences per se. His focus is on the sweetness. With sweetness of interaction with God with his devotees. You see this pastime of Vamandev, Bali and Vamandev. How 𝗙cie Goswami recites? He recites in a way where Bali's emotions are clashing with Vamandev's emotion, and then he surrenders, and Vamandev, he appreciates that, and that produces rasa, this kind of emotional exchange. He's actually zooming in on emotions, and that's why Bhagavatam begins Pibatam Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. Vyasadeva, 𝗙cie Goswami says, see, there's no new information, but what I'm going to do is, I'm going to recite all the same what you have read, same stuff, in a different way. So old wine in new bottle, probably, something like that. And that's why you see Vyasadeva came, Narad came, everybody was sitting to hear 𝗙cie. They would have known all these things. This is like, if you see information wise, this is like common knowledge, Bhagavat. But they came, they said, oh my God, he is speaking in such a way, 𝗙că 𝗃𝗓 He is speaking in such a way that it's so relishable. Why? Because he is trying to zoom in on the sweetness, on the sweet relationship between God and his devotees, and we want to hear this. And he is skilled to do that. That's why his name is 𝗙că. He's a parrot. I mean, he's not a parrot, but he's parrot-like. 𝗙că. So, he repeats the same message like a parrot. He doesn't add, he doesn't subtract, but yet it's new, because he's adding sweetness to it. And that's what is association for, that's all. This association is for to develop sweetness in your heart. That's why Parikshit is asking 𝗙cie Goswami, please tell me, I want to hear about all 10 incarnations, so that he develops more affection for God. Once you relish sweetness, you develop affection. That's the idea of devotion, isn't it? Affection then condenses Santaranatma into emotions, and that condenses into love. That's what is the idea of association of devotees. So we can learn from Parikshit. Prabhupada is saying, learn from him. Learn from him what to ask to devotees. And learn from 𝗙cie Goswami what to speak to them. Not just some list you have researched from internet and you are pasting it on that person. That doesn't help anybody. Or maybe some kind of philosophical gymnastics or word jugglery. It doesn't help anybody. What will help others is when you give them a realization, bodhyanta of the subject, and that can only happen when you are applying it in your life. Otherwise it can't happen. When you are applying the subject in your life, who is better than 𝗙cie Goswami, who is applying Srimad Bhagavatam in his life? He has nothing to do. He is just roaming in the forest, I mean, Vyasadeva has some household responsibilities. And he had many disciples, Vyasadeva. He was teacher, householder. He didn't have much time. 𝗙cie Goswami is full time. He's simply meditating on Supreme Lord. He doesn't have even time to wear his clothes. Of course, he would have, naturally he would have got something, What he's doing, he's just loitering around now. He's focused. He's focused on his subject matter. So, okay, let's ask him. You want to ask somebody who is focused on his subject, isn't it? And who's experienced in the subject matter. He's experienced, he's focused. And not only he's experienced, he's focused. He has internalized the subject matter. And he's relishing it. He's passionate about this subject. So better hear to him, isn't it? He'll advance. So we have to hear those devotees who are passionate about God. If you hear from them, you get that passion. And that passion will become antidote for the passion for the material world. And you get detached from material world. And then you advance. That's what we learn from this verse. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions? I want to end here. I have some next meetings today.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Very, very wonderful class, Prabhuji. So you started from saying about the Bhagavan, how it is represented to each one of them and how we have to take it, and about the importance of association, why we have to associate. So there should be a discussion which leads us to transformation, which means this realization. That's why we are associating with the devotees. That was really, really wonderful. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. There are so many points which you have mentioned very nicely. Every time you come, there is a different perspective of the Bhagavatam, what we are reading. So thank you so much for that. And devotees, do you have time for questions?
Yes, some time, yeah. So not much, but some time.
Okay.
I don't have much time.
Ojas Gade Prabhu, please go ahead.
Can I? Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, can you please tell about the importance of writing while hearing? Because in the past, people were like Shrutidhar, like they were remembering what they hear, but we are
I know it's your wish. It's not necessary. It's your wish. If you want to write, that's good. You can revise your notes again. Sometimes we don't write. We understand the essence. It depends on your memory. If your memory is weak, you write. Memory is strong, don't write. I don't know, it's a very subjective thing. You can write, you cannot write. There is no question. Doesn't make any sense for me.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we have Pitambar Prabhu. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Keshav Anand Prabhu. My dear good pranams to you. All bless Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So Prabhu, very, very wonderfully explained the first verse of 24th chapter. I was thinking, Prabhu, you said that the Vedas, he came to rescue Matsya-avatara.
Yeah.
He took for Vedas. So if you can shed some light on where Vedas stolen or where they lost? Or
no, they were lost. In Pralay they were lost. All this, Pralay happened, all the scholars vanished from the earth. I mean, it's all rishis, all scholars, and Vedas reside in the heart of scholars, isn't it, and devotees. So at there were no books at that time, no. So Vedas resided in the heart of people, and Pralay, all people vanished. So he suggested to Prajapatis, you climb the boat, and I'll give you all the knowledge again of all the people, all the experiences, all the realizations, and you keep it with you, and then again establish it in the next. In that sense, they were lost.
Okay. And that's very nice, Prabhu. And then Saptarshis were there. So is there any significance of those Saptarshis on the boat?
Yeah, they were there because they were qualified to understand what he was saying. If he would have taken us, he would have given us, but we wouldn't have understood any damn thing. They were qualified to understand, that's why he took them. They had the necessary, like intelligence, and they already knew Vedas, so they could understand the subject what Matsya was going to speak. That's the point.
Got it. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Very good.
Okay.